Science education in the United States is very polarized. There are many students who have an excellent science education, but there are millions more students who have very, very poor science education.
The major problem in general, for example, about getting excited about science is to get over that barrier that says it's boring, it's difficult, it's a question of passive learning and kind of questioning in the classroom, producing the recipe answers, and sort of this very tedious way of teaching. The biggest problem in why people think that science is A, difficult, and B, boring.
The Biobus is a mobile science laboratory. We travel around New York City and the country bringing students hands-on science education. When we travel to a school, the Biobus pulls up in front and students come on over the course of the day. So a class will come on and we'll make samples with that class, put those samples onto the microscope. The students will get to see protozoa swimming around on the microscope, things like DNA and mitochondria and cell membranes, things that they normally would only see in a textbook, but now they get to see it for real on the microscope right in front of them.
Kids get to interact with scientists that they would never interact with, so it's a merging of communities.
Ben and I have prepared for you the most boring experiment in the world, to watch paint dry, and you're going to see how that happens. Tell me, what does it mean when paint dries? Look at that paint over there. What's paint made of to begin with?
Molecules.
Particles. But how can you tell whether it's dry or not?
When it's solid.
When it's solid, but how do you know that something is solid?
Can't go through it.
You can't go through it, so that's how it's solid. Because it's not moving, exactly. Here you have a drying front, where the particles on the right-hand side are very different to the ones on the left-hand side. How are they different? They're darker.
And that one looks like it's moving.
Exactly. So where they're moving, they're in a liquid, right? And where they're in a solid, they're not moving. The liquid to solid phase transition on the microscope in real time, and they can really see microscopically how that happens. There's a drying front, and it's a crowded environment, so this is what in physics we call jamming. Have you ever been in a traffic jam?
Yes.
So first the traffic's moving, it's moving, then they jam up. Is it really boring to watch paint dry?
Like without a microscope in it. I know.
Without a microscope in it. And they love it because I think that they realize that the microscopic world is much more exciting than some of the macroscopic world that they know.
We're really trying to address that problem, that there are many students who really will never have access to a hands-on science experiment while they're in school. What we're trying to show them is that actually science is really fun for everybody, and that once you have that initial experience, I think people have a really good response and see it as something that they could actually do in their lives.
This scientific revolution in education would be to change this passive learning into an active process where you don't deliver the answers to the students, but you make them deduce those answers alone.
It's cool to watch paint dry.
It's amazing. I thought it was gonna be boring, but I changed my mind.
Watching paint dry was boring, but it's fun. Awesome! Bye!